It looks like WWE is about to make some massive changes as the SmackDown on USA era is upon us, and it looks like WWE SmackDown is getting a whole new look, a whole new vibe, a whole new logo, and so much more. We're going to talk about it. We're going to take a look at everything we know so far. We're also going to talk about a talent, a major talent, that WWE is interested in signing as Daniel Garcia's contract is coming up. Are they going to steal him from AEW? We're going to talk about it. Everything you need to know right here, youtube.com/Real Take Wrestling. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, new era for WWE, a new era for Friday Night SmackDown, as WrestleVotes earlier today sent out what is potentially, well, at that point was potentially the new logo for SmackDown. It has since been confirmed in videos that have surfaced from the Climate Pledge Arena, which is the arena where the first episode of SmackDown on USA will emanate from. Here it is, the brand new logo for Friday Night SmackDown. As you can see, variation of the logos they've used in the past. Very different, though, as you can see the D and the S seem to be just one kind of combined symbol there, which is really interesting. And color scheme changed up a bit. It was a bit brighter on Fox, but the entire energy behind this logo change and this move to USA, or move back, I should say, to USA, because remember, WWE SmackDown was on USA Network prior to moving to Fox. But part of this, I think, is to signify a brand new start, a brand new era, and really put a stamp on it. Friday Night SmackDown for WWE has been more important than it's ever been over the past couple of years, especially ever since their partnership with Fox began. And because of that partnership with Fox, they've had the opportunity to work with and grow that brand and make it one of the most successful shows on Friday nights anywhere. And you look at the ratings, they are number one in their key demos. If you look at the way that the brand has grown, Friday Night SmackDown right now, or right before this week, was and remains likely the most watched wrestling show on TV today. And it's because of the importance that WWE's put on it. And I think we're going to see that importance stay over the next couple of months. And I think there's, a interesting phenomenon that's about to happen here, as Friday Night SmackDown, I think over the next couple of months, because they are newer to USA, they are going to get a lot of special treatment, and they are going to be positioned, I think, as a prominent show. But I think by the time we get to the time where Netflix is going to be airing Monday Night Raw, that is when you're going to see it shift a little bit. I think Raw is going to be positioned as that brand, and I think one group of people that are going to be instrumental in defining that are the Bloodline. Do not be surprised if over the next couple of months we see the Bloodline, Cody Rhodes, all these big stars on Friday Night SmackDown, especially as a time where Monday Night Raw, you don't need as many stars. It's going back to 2 hours starting in October. I think right now they want to cement Friday Night SmackDown, and they're going to have a lot of big stars on SmackDown up until January. And then by January, that is when they're going to go all in on Netflix. I look for the entire Bloodline stuff to move over to Raw, look for Cody to go to Raw, look for all that to happen as they try to make Monday Night Raw more important and the most viewed show in wrestling. And it is part of this TKO era that WWE is in as well. Like, they are going to be trying some new things. I think the brand extension is going to probably stick around, but we're going to see, I think, different levels to it. And, I think don't be surprised if you see X talent or exclusive, but other talent can go back and forth, and they can make those trades similar to what they've been doing. But I think it's going to be more, spelled out, and it's going to give them a lot more room to work with. Whereas before they were kind of put in a box, and if they ever moved away from that box, it was seen as deviating or, breaking the rules or an illogical stories. I think look for them to be a little bit more defined. But this is big. SmackDown is also set to have a brand new theme song, new look. The staging area is going to be slightly different than what it was. They are trying to make this special. It is a season premiere. It is a move to a new network. They're obviously always going to try to make that special. So shout out to them. I do dig the logo. In all honesty, I think it's pretty cool. And like for SmackDown, a show that's kind of had a very similar look and a very similar logo, a very similar brand over the past like 20 years. This is like a great evolution of that. And I think that it's going to be great to see what happens next, guys. Let me know in the comments section what you guys think. As we move on to our next and final topic, let's talk about Daniel Garcia, one of the bigger free agent names that is set to hit the open market. We know his contract with All Elite Wrestling is expiring pretty soon. We also know that he has had interest in the past from WWE. There were reports that, WWE were a little bit unhappy with the potential numbers that were being negotiated between Daniel Garcia and AEW because they did not want to pay Daniel Garcia that high amount of money. Again, reportedly, allegedly, rumors, all that kind of stuff. But we do have a report from Fightful Select. This is an aggregation from Wrestle Purists of the Fightful Select report. AEW believes that WWE has interest in Daniel Garcia. One top AEW talent had been under the impression this summer that Garcia was staying, but that is far from a guarantee. And this comes as Daniel Garcia has just finished up a feud with MJF that ended in a weird fashion. And I'm not saying bad because I actually like the way they did it. But when you consider the contract talks and all the news that's been coming out about this, it makes you wonder how this was kind of decided, because Garcia lost the match to MJF after this was built up as a big blood feud. But then after the match, he kind of gets, he's the babyface, so he gets like a pile driver on Max and he sends him away. So now you have a situation where Garcia and MJF could possibly be off TV for a while. And I think the logic from a business standpoint was probably, if Garcia does not re-sign, then, well, we can't have him beat one of our biggest stars who's going to be around for the next year or two, guaranteed, in MJF. We know he did sign at one point an extension with All Elite Wrestling. So there's a lot of things to consider here. Reports earlier this past summer claimed that Daniel Garcia was sticking around with AEW, or it was believed that Daniel Garcia was sticking around with AEW, and the potential for WWE to get him, I think, is great. It just depends on how much they're willing to pay him. AEW does not view Daniel Garcia as a guy who is going to go to developmental and, it's going to need time. They view him as one of their top stars over the next 5 years. Like, we have evolved past the point of the 5 pillars, or the 4 pillars of AEW being Darby Allin, Jack Perry, Sammy Guevara, and MJF. I think we're in an era where there's new 5 pillars, and Daniel Garcia, one of the best young talent AEW has, is one of those pillars. And as we move forward, I look for Garcia to make a big decision about his future. And I think part of it, obviously, is going to be depending on pay. Is WWE going to pay him like the star that AEW values him at? Or is it going to be a scenario where they do not view him like that, and potentially Daniel Garcia says, well, the upside in WWE over the next 10 whatever years might be more, or more exposure, or there's opportunities to do things other than wrestling? A lot of that is on the table. And these are factors that Daniel Garcia and many other wrestling free agents need to think about. He is not the only big wrestling free agent, obviously, out there. There's this Kevin Owens decision that is looming in early 2025, according to him. And we don't know what's going to happen there. I am on the record saying that I believe that there is a high chance that Kevin Owens ends up signing with AEW. And if you want me to put a figure on it, I'd say 60% chance he ends up going to AEW. I've done a bunch of videos about that. Go over to youtube.com/WrestleVibes to learn more there. But I think we are coming up on a major decision point over the next couple of months for a lot of big free agents. And we're going to be covering it right here, youtube.com/Real Take Wrestling. Guys, let me know in the comment section what you guys think about all of this, Daniel Garcia's contract, as well as Friday Night SmackDown, WWE making those big changes. I want to hear from you guys. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.